There is one habit silently dismantling men from the inside out. It drains your energy. It kills your confidence. It locks you inside a mental cage that looks like comfort, but feels like slow decay. You wake up empty. You move through the day half alive. You tell yourself you'll change, but the loop restarts. You think you're tired because of work or stress. You think motivation vanished because life is dull. You're wrong. There's a single behavior bleeding your strength and stealing your clarity. A habit that has been normalized, commercialized, and celebrated as healthy. It isn't. It's a slow rot. Every time you indulge, a small part of your mind dies quietly. You feel the guilt, the numbness, the short-lived pleasure that ends in disgust. You think it's private. It's not. Your posture reveals it. Your face shows it. Your drive exposes it. The truth: no man can build a life of power while being ruled by his impulses. Not the shallow kind taught in productivity books, but the ancient discipline forged through pain, repetition, and withdrawal. The Stoics understood it. They didn't romanticize abstinence. They weaponized it. Marcus Aurelius mastered an empire because he mastered himself. Epictetus was born a slave, yet freer than most men alive today. Seneca warned that the man who lives by the body dies by it. They all said the same thing in different words. The more you chase pleasure, the weaker you become. Every indulgence is self-inflicted obedience to desire. Every indulgence erases your command over yourself. You were born into a culture that rewards weakness. Pleasure is marketed as healing. Discipline is mocked as repression. The result? A generation of men who can't sit in silence for 5 minutes without reaching for a distraction. Each time you repeat this habit, your brain floods itself with dopamine, artificial euphoria detached from achievement. You reward yourself for nothing. The mind stops differentiating between conquest and comfort. Over time, ambition dies because the brain no longer needs victory. It already feels rewarded. You stop chasing purpose because you've trained your system to celebrate failure. You lose hunger. You lose direction. You lose the inner voltage that makes a man advance. That is why you feel hollow after pleasure. Your instincts know the reward was counterfeit. Ancient philosophy didn't have neuroscience, but it saw the pattern centuries ago. The Stoics called it enslavement to appetite. Today, science calls it dopamine addiction. Different language, same truth. Seneca: no man is free who is a slave to his body. That is not metaphorical. It's a law. The body demands. The weak man obeys. The strong man disciplines. Marcus Aurelius: you have power over your mind, not outside events. The habit you fight is not external. It's an internal invasion. When you give in, you tell your mind it serves the body. You teach yourself submission. Pleasure is the perfect prison. It feels safe. It feels deserved. It feels earned. It isn't. It's the silent erasure of your edge. Every king, soldier, and creator who ever built something lasting understood restraint. Their legacy wasn't written by indulgence. It was carved through the absence of it. Epictetus said, "Freedom belongs only to the self-governed." Discipline is not punishment. It is alignment with purpose. Each time you resist an impulse, you strengthen the signal between will and action. Each time you give in, you weaken it. Strength is repetition under resistance. Refuse comfort. Choose control. Every denial is a small resurrection. The mind cannot exist in absence. If you remove a vice without replacing it, the void consumes you. This habit thrives in men who have no mission. When purpose is absent, pleasure becomes the substitute. Build something. Train for something. A man occupied with creation has no time for destruction. Channel the same energy that seeks escape into work, mastery, and progress. The Stoics viewed labor as medicine. They were right. Ancient warriors and thinkers knew that the energy men waste through indulgence is the same energy that fuels genius, innovation, and dominance. Modern culture calls it sex drive. The ancients called it vital force. When you redirect it, it becomes creative electricity. Nikola Tesla understood this. He abstained not out of guilt, but out of engineering precision. He refused to leak energy on what brought no gain. That energy powered discovery. The Stoics practiced the same principle under another name: sublimation. Transform desire into drive. Convert craving into creation. This is not mysticism. It's physics of the mind. When you stop indulging, the system reboots. Hormones stabilize. Focus returns. The voice in your head that whispers for ease begins to die. You start to feel solid again. Confidence doesn't need affirmation. It exists as quiet certainty. You wake up earlier without trying. You hold eye contact longer. Your body stops craving relief and starts demanding challenge. The guilt disappears because self-respect replaces it. Testosterone rises. Memory sharpens. Decision-making improves. But beyond biology, the psychological shift is absolute. You stop needing. You start choosing. That is masculine sovereignty, not dominance over others, but over self. This is what the Stoics meant by freedom. Freedom is not leisure. It is the absence of internal dictatorship. Most men will never know how powerful they could have been because they traded potential for comfort. They called weakness normal. They called addiction self-care. And when life demanded greatness, they had nothing left to give. History does not remember the comfortable. It remembers the disciplined. It remembers those who refused indulgence, redirected energy, and built something unbreakable out of restraint. A man's worth is measured by what he can refuse. When you stop serving pleasure, pleasure begins to serve you. Stop leaking power. Stop rewarding yourself for nothing. Stop calling weakness normal. Return to command. Self-mastery is not an achievement. It's a return to your natural state. The Stoics understood that long before modern men forgot it.